So this week you announced that you'd be in support of a self-regulatory organization being formed to oversee cryptocurrency trading. Maybe share a little bit about this next phase of the regulatory framework that you're proposing.
Yeah, so with all of that, sort of the next evolution is an SRO, self-regulatory organization proposal that we published to regulate the activity that actually happens on these exchanges. The spot market is very unregulated. There's a lot of anti-money laundering. Getting onto exchanges is hard if you're a regulated exchange, but the actual activity that's going on once you're in there is not well regulated. Sort of like the exchange layer of the actual exchange. We're actually not just an exchange, we're also a custodian because we custody digital assets. So we're really four businesses in one. We've got sort of brokerage with the web portal, the exchange, matching engine similar to like a BATS. Then we clear trades because we're full reserve. And then we custody the digital assets like a State Street. So normally those are like four businesses broken apart in the equities or futures world. And in our world, it's one collapsed into one. And a lot of the regs, the trust company regs, look at like the custody piece, but not actually the exchange layer. And there hasn't been like a standardization of best practices and rules-based markets. So I think that's important. That's what drove us to like this. Our most sophisticated customers wanted this. We want this. The regulators want this. We've been wanting this for a long time, creating a rules-based market that's similar to trading on any other type of market or asset class. So this was the next evolution for the cryptocurrency market. The demand for people reading our proposal, both from our customers, but also other exchanges that we are in the market and sort of in the same regulated market as us, has been phenomenal. Everyone's really excited. It's unanimous that people want this, and we said, the time is right. If we had done this 2 years ago, it just would have been too early. Wasn't quite there. It would have been ahead of the market, but we feel like the timing is right. And we look forward to helping, getting the group to make that happen, an independent body that, sort of like the NFA, similar to that kind of thing, that builds rules-based market in fairness.
So I'm curious, did you evaluate organizations like FINRA and NFA and find that they weren't well suited for the cryptocurrency market, or what led you to seek maybe an independent SRO for crypto?
Yeah, so FINRA is securities, and we don't trade securities. So we're not really in the SEC world, and we also don't trade futures or derivatives. We're just a spot commodity market. So that doesn't exist, especially for cryptocurrency, sort of a SRO for spot commodities. The CFTC has oversight on enforcement of fraud, but it's pretty light touch there. And I think the market just wants it. So there was a gap. We sort of filled that, and we'll sort of see where it goes.
Excellent. Since the introduction of the futures contracts on crypto, how have you seen volumes respond to that, and how have you seen prices respond to that?
Yeah, price has been pretty flat. Yeah, so maybe there's been a lot more price discovery, perhaps, in the past couple of months. You can now short Bitcoin in a regulated product. Prior to that, it's just very difficult to short Bitcoin. You'd have to go offshore and completely unregulated. So it allows, greater price discovery, and it's been actually pretty stable. While Bitcoin may have peaked at 20,000, I think sometime in December, it's actually been in a band of about 9,000 to 11,000 for the better part of 2 months. So, did the futures cause that? Perhaps. It's still really early days. Like it's an evolving product. We're only through 3 settlements, but certainly we've seen less volatility in the past couple months. I think it's important. It's very early. The margin requirements in the contract are really high. It's like 40%. Position limits, restrictive. So it hasn't really, unleashed. I think that, it's an incredible out of the gates start. Like Cameron said, it's, doing more than the VIX was early on. Super pleased with it, but it's definitely not where we think it's going to end up. And I think it'd be a mistake to sort of take a snapshot and be like, oh, like that's the demand of Bitcoin. There's still not a ton of firms clearing it. It doesn't reflect the demand or interest or how much Wall Street's getting in this game. So I think that's important to note. It's sort of like maybe the bottom of the first inning. The training wheels are still on. This hasn't really even started. So we're really encouraged. We've had 3 successful early settlements. The volumes have been 5 times larger than the other 4 regulated exchanges, spot exchanges, compared to the volume of our auction on settlement. So our auction is the premier liquidity event in the market.
Vai fazer uma dessa? Vai dar ruim, vambora. Foi que tô.
Elas estão perto, aproveita que elas estão tudo meio perto, tá ligado?
Eu vou na...
Mano, o canal do Fortnáticos foi banido, velho. Mano, é sério, velho. Eu tô... Ai, cara.